right now on Justice.
We will crush their would-be caliphate and counter radical jihadism.
She failed as Secretary of State. Now Hillary Clinton says she's the one to keep us safe from ISIS. Talk about delusional. Talk about outrageous. I'm talking about it all in tonight's opening statement. Plus.
And now to tonight's opening statement. Who do you think poses the greatest danger to the safety of the United States? To your safety and that of your family? That person? Not a career criminal. Not the head of a terrorist cell. Not even your run-of-the-mill thug. That person? A woman who will do anything to get elected. Now, I wasn't even going to do an opening statement this evening because it's a holiday. For me, it's Christmas, and I'm generally in the Christmas spirit. But this week, when Hillary Clinton laid out her comprehensive plan to bolster Homeland Security, I couldn't help myself. Take a listen.
Because it is not enough to contain ISIS. We must defeat ISIS, break its momentum, and then it's back. And not just ISIS, but the broader radical jihadist movement that also includes al-Qaeda and offshoots like al-Shabaab in Somalia.
Defeat not just ISIS and offshoots like al-Shabaab in Somalia? So you tell me, Hillary, why when you were in power, in charge of the State Department, did you refuse to label Boko Haram a terrorist organization? You remember them. They kidnapped hundreds of girls, and they brought about that hashtag, Bring Back Our Girls. Aren't you the self-described champion of women's rights? And just recently, that same terrorist organization, Boko Haram, that non-terrorist group to you, literally obliterated the Nigerian town of Baga, reportedly killing 2,000 innocent citizens. Now, in 2010, you were presented with hard evidence of their terrorism. But no, your State Department, even after Boko Haram bombed the UN headquarters, pushed back against the CIA, pushed back against the FBI, both of whom wanted the Boko Haram designated a terrorist organization. And thanks to you, since that time, they've morphed into an even greater terror threat, strapping explosives on little girls, using them as suicide bombers. So why? Why not designate them a terrorist organization? Reports are that you wouldn't designate Boko Haram, even though you were advised of their atrocities, because of your relationship with a Nigerian land developer who, shockingly, gave your family's foundation $5 million. And we should trust you with the presidency of the United States? But also, in your plan to protect the homeland, you say,
we can't afford another major ground war in the Middle East. That's exactly what ISIS wants from us.
Really? Aren't you the one who spearheaded the mission to topple Muammar Gaddafi, claiming that there was a threat that he might kill his own people? You even ordered that the Pentagon not take calls from Gaddafi's son Saif, who wanted to engage in peace talks to stop the mission. The truth? You're the one who instigated a good deal of what you and others call the Arab Spring, which has turned out to be a nightmare for millions of Arabs who've been slaughtered in the interim. So why? Hillary, why? Because you wanted to be the leader who could normalize Libya. It was so normalized that our ambassador and 3 other Americans were massacred in its capital, the first death of an ambassador in almost 40 years. And you say you want to defeat ISIS by dismantling the global network of terror that supplies radical jihadists with money, arms, and fighters? Pray tell, aren't you the one who reportedly funneled arms from Libya to Turkey and to Syria? Those same arms now being used against us? And you want to intensify support for local forces who can pursue our enemies on the ground? How are you going to do that when $500 million of our money was spent to support local forces who dropped their drawers, dropped their weapons, and dropped their guns when they saw ISIS coming? Some plan you got there, Hillary. And in summation, you say, we can defeat ISIS by smashing its stronghold, hitting its fighters, leaders, and the infrastructure from the air, and intensifying support for local forces who can pursue them on the ground. That's a lot of talk from the woman who was in charge of our strategy in the State Department and who could have made a difference before ISIS became the most powerful, the richest terror organization in history. But then again, you're the one who said,
shallow slogans don't add up to a strategy.
And your shallow slogans don't add up to a presidency either.